Hey, what's going on everybody and welcome to a Smart Investor channel. So firstly, my apologies to my viewers. I took a few days off and I've been extremely busy with everything going on around GameStop. So today I want to bring you an update on this stock and give you my opinion on this as well and what's going on. Also, we'll look at the charts, but let's face it guys, at this point it's so volatile beyond imagination that what we're used to. So there's not going to be a clarity in terms of any buy zones or anything. I don't think I'm going to give any actual advice or suggestions or buy zones at this point, as this is definitely high risk. It's become more a political thing than an analysis perspective, right? For those new to the channel, I'm a corporate professional stock investor, real estate investor, and a passionate PC gamer. And I also do YouTube videos to share my knowledge and passion with like minds like yourselves. So that being said, please smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to not miss any of my videos. So now that being said, let's move right to it. All right, guys, so it's been a crazy week, full of volatility, full of things in the news, politically speaking, movements being created, and a lot of FOMO and a lot of stocks, right? And, I'm not here to say who's right, who's wrong. I'm usually a very neutral, objective guy, but I have to say a few things that are fundamental today. I think definitely there are some institutions who have dropped the ball. I think we need to let the authorities figure out this one and investigate, right, and come out with the facts. The facts are very important here. But definitely, when I look at the whole picture, okay, and we'll get into a few details there for those who have not followed the story. But I gotta say right off the bat, I mean, I've been looking at this. I traded myself. I just wanted you to know that, I've been supportive of the cause. I was trading this at the beginning for profits, but then, of course, came the move that just turned the whole thing for me, personally speaking, okay? Up so far, I get it. Wall Street Bets wanted to squeeze these guys that were, the hedge funds, capital management more particularly, who were shorting the hell out of GameStop, AMC, and other stocks like that. And, obviously, that does have an impact on the business, right? Because they keep the price very low. They make tons of money out of that. And what happens with the companies? Well, they can't raise that much capital, right? So they just go to their death very much quicker, right? So I get it, and I see why they targeted these guys. Definitely, we can judge those hedge funds, and rightfully so. I think personally, it's when, obviously companies like TD Ameritrade and then Robinhood took the decisions to halt the trading as we went. I mean, this was for a while there. They were halting the trading every like 2 to 5 minutes, and then you'd see the price just fall, right? And then they would block from us buying the stocks, right? And afterwards, even worse, the middle of this week, not just 24 hours ago, they decided to actually not allow you as an investor to actually buy the stocks that you want. AMC, GameSpot, BlackBerry, so on and so forth. I mean, this has become crazy, guys. And yes, they do have some legitimate reasons, right? They want to make sure that, they had let's face it, Robinhood had a liquidity crisis, and that's no questions. I mean, these guys didn't have the funds behind to cover all the losses of their hedge funds clients, right? So that's very key in this, right? And then for the other aspect that everybody's talking about, and this is why it became news on the front page of everybody, right? Is, was there some, I'm going to put it this way, conspiracy in between where Melvin Capital was supported by Citadel, right? And then the rumor says that they would have asked Robinhood directly and some politicians as well from the White House. That's the rumor, guys, okay? We don't have facts on this. There's going to be an investigation, official one, and they'll get into the bottom of that, right? But the rumor says that these guys would have actually pressured Robinhood to halt and to block everybody from buying these stocks, okay? So that's what's going to be investigated, and I'm confident that they'll get to the bottom of this, okay? The SEC, very important, guys. I mean, I know it's easy to point the fingers, and rightfully so. I mean, everybody's pissed off, that's for sure, including myself. Like I said, that was for me the turning point for me. Thus far, it was, retail investor against hedge funds, and I get it. I'm all supportive of the cause, but when they actually turned the table and took the heavy decision to slap everybody on the face and say you're not buying anything anymore, and then that means that you're losing money because you can't even buy and compete at price that is just plummeting down there, because that's the only thing you can do. You can sell, but you can't buy. I mean, it's very logical here that there's been manipulation. So there's no questions asked, guys. My perception, my opinion, there's been manipulation. I mean, it'd be crazy to say otherwise, because you guys were losing money. I was losing some, but I mean, I didn't put a lot of money into this, but definitely I see a lot of people that did put a lot of their funds because they believe in this cause. and I understand it. Everybody has their stories to tell, and I'm really appreciative of those stories. So I don't find that this was fair play, and I feel that there should definitely be an investigation, but also consequences. I think the people will ask to force somebody's head, and some heads will have to roll in this one because it's unacceptable, guys. And I saw the reports and I saw the interviews from the CEO of Robinhood. So I want to share with you a quick video here of what the CEO actually said, and for you to have actually his side of the version, okay? And then we'll come into that very quickly.
I want you to address the obvious. This looks like a move by an outfit called Robinhood, which is supposed to be taken from the rich and given to the poor, and doing exactly the opposite. That when the big guys, including one of your main investors in your company, started to lose, you shut down the game to starve the little guy. Fair criticism.
That's not what it is at all. And I know you started this segment. It really resonated with me because you described the story of Robinhood. Robinhood started 5 years ago by pioneering commission-free, no-account minimum mobile investing, and we've been the spokesperson of the individual investor. And our whole goal as an institution is to enable those customers, empower them, and give them access to the markets, because for the longest time, markets have been only accessible to the wealthy. And so the entire industry adopted our business model in 2019. And in 2020, we added millions of new customers. The entire industry added millions of new customers who took advantage of the market rally and became investors for the very first time. So, we had to make a very difficult decision to protect our customers and our firm.
Why?
But we in no way
Why? Explain why you had to do it if it wasn't to protect the guys who had shorted the stocks, which are the big hedge funds. How are you helping the little guy investors?
Well, I know that there's rumors around that, we were directed by market makers or other market participants to do this. And I want to be 100% clear. This decision was not made on the direction of any market maker or other market participants.
So why'd you do it?
Decision. Robinhood, as a brokerage, has lots of financial requirements, SEC requirements. We have to put up money at clearinghouses. The amount of money that we have to put up depends on market volatility, and we're in a historic situation where there's a lot of activity and a lot of buying concentrated in a relatively small number of symbols that are going viral on social media. So we haven't really seen anything like this before. And to prudently manage the risk and the deposit requirements, we had to restrict buying in these 13 stocks.
All right, guys, so you heard it directly from the CEO himself of Robinhood. So there's two main reasons that he gave to halt and stop the power that you have as an investor of your own money. Let's face it, it's a self-directed account, right? It's not for nothing that it's called that way. You're not paying anybody to do your own trades, right? You're doing it on your own purpose. And if you lose money, that's on you. And if you win some money, well, great for you, right? And there shouldn't be anybody halting you from doing whatever you want. I mean, that's the part that I have hard time believing and hard time to actually accept. I mean, there's so many other examples we can provide where there's nobody stepping in to save you from your own destiny. If that's to lose your money, like casinos, if you play the money, there's nobody gonna stop your hand there while you're playing blackjack, poker, whatever, and say, hey, listen, you're about to lose your money, we might have to stop the game here, right? Makes no sense. The house always wins, right? So that's the part that I'm actually starting to having more difficult to digest here. But the second part that he actually admits, and that's actually something more believable, is the part where he says, well, we had to halt because we didn't have necessarily the funds to actually back it up, right? All these losses from possibly the hedge funds, right, to cover their losses from playing the casinos, right? It's a total casino, and that's the way it is, right? So they had to halt to actually make sure that they could actually recuperate that money and not be in the hole, as probably capital right now is in several hundreds of billions of dollars at this point. So listen, guys, I do have a tendency to believe that argument because it definitely makes a lot of sense. I mean, they were probably irresponsible. They didn't have enough sufficient funds like banks do. So the banks need to have liquidity to make sure that if people pull out all their money, asking for their money. They need to cover that demand, right? Which is not likely to happen. But let's say everybody goes to the bank tomorrow and say, hey, I want to retrieve all my money. Well, they need to have that liquidity and they better have it, right? But that's why there's rules, right? You need to have a certain percentage of all the liquidity that got in to make sure that you can cover the transactions, the people that want to retrieve that money, right? And if there's a sudden rush. So there's responsibility from each corporation. So Robinhood failed in this perspective, in my own opinion, because obviously there's a lot of other firms out there that didn't halt the trading, right? That they did commit to you trading whatever the hell you wanted, right? So this, for me, Robinhood has a failure in this perspective, okay? Now it's about, it's going to be about the backlash that they're going to have to deal with from a marketing perspective, public image perspective, right? So I know a lot of you guys don't want to do business with Robinhood anymore, right? And that's rightfully so, fully respect that. I don't do business with Robinhood personally, but, definitely you'll have to make a choice there, right? And you're the sole proprietor of that, right? So that being said, what are the politicians saying? I have to say, I'm surprised, guys. There's a lot of politicians that are actually against what Robinhood did, what Melvin did, and Citadel did, right? So let's read a little bit here very quickly on what the politicians are saying. And by the way, people like Shamat, Elon Musk, Kevin O'Leary, they came publicly and were extremely supportive of the movement, and they said a lot of tons of good things, right? So I won't go through those videos because it's going to take a long time here to do so, but that's been really amazing, guys, to see the support that community of investors, entrepreneurs, very legendary guys that came here and publicly supported everything that you guys are doing. So amazing here. So let's read this very quickly. So Robinhood faces bipartisan backlash after banning trades on specific stocks. And they're saying, well, in a nutshell, what we just reviewed here in the video, but essentially that Robinhood took the decision to restrict users from buying stocks that have shaken Wall Street, including GameStop, AMC, BlackBerry. Wall Street bets drove up the stock prices that had been shorted by large hedge funds, right? So we know this. And the elected officials, including Republican Texas Senator Ted Cruz, New York Democratic Republican Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, some of you have seen some of her tweets that have been very supportive, condemned Robinhood for allegedly defending hedge funds financially rocked from the stock surge. This is unacceptable. We now need to know more about Robinhood's app's decision to block retail investors from purchasing stock while hedge funds are freely able to trade the stock as they see fit. So listen, guys, there's been tons of tweets here from a lot of Republicans and Democrats just definitely outraged by the fact that they actually halted all this, right? And this is clear reasons because it makes sense, guys. We're all bleeding chips here because these guys are actually manipulating here the system, right? In this case, it should only be, and by the way, they do have the right to do it, just to clarify things. It's even in the contracts that we all sign and we don't read, but it needs to be for really specific reasons, guys. And this is debatable at this point because it has to be in good faith and in the interest of the stock market and their clients, right? And of course, to respect the legislation of as well and procedures of the SEC. But in this case, I think this is very debatable because I think there's conflict of interest that will be found out in the investigation, and that we will see that the person again that was most impacted and bleeded tons of is the retail investor. Okay, guys, so this is very cool though. I see the community here of some politicians and some people, entrepreneurs in the world there that are very supportive of the cause we are here for. So very cool. Let's look at the last video. I would just want to show it to you guys of the support we're having,
because this is how we show the inequality of the system.
No, they're Americans that have the freedom to do whatever they want. My job isn't to tell them how to invest. My job is to make sure that they have the same rights as every other American. And I don't understand how you can have a service like Robinhood, which under the terms of service tells people that they can trade, and then just stop those terms. And by the way, Robinhood, you can ask the CEO when he comes on, makes part of their money by selling this data to the hedge funds. So there's something there that they have to gain by listening to the hedge funds. Now, I don't know what their rationale is. I do know they put out this statement saying they have capital requirements and SEC requirements, but I don't understand what requirements. They're not personally investing in GameStop. It's the investors. They're just a neutral platform.
All right, guys, so you heard it from the politician here. He's being very supported, and I think he explained very well. It's none of his business, right, to ensure what you're buying or not buying. It's a self-directed account, so it makes total sense. Okay, so now for that, let's move on now to the GameStop charts, because I feel this is important to watch and see, because a lot of you guys are either buying or considering buying. Okay, so I'll let you know my thoughts on this. So firstly, look at the markets, guys. It's been red, -2%. They've been taking slaps. If you've noticed, there's a main distraction here. Okay, obviously GameStop and all these stocks, right? There's FOMO all over the place, and while that's happening, there's rotation, but also more importantly, there's people pulling their money out. There's fear in the story. If you looked at the VIX index as well, I mean, there's fear all over the place. And as you know, Warren Buffett would say, when others are fearful, you need to be greedy. And that's what personally I'm doing, by the way. So I've been on a shopping spree since we've seen a lot of red days, and I'm averaging costing down or buying new stocks that I would have never actually thought to see in discount as it has been. So that's been my main play here. Yeah, and I need to be transparent. I have a small portion of my money who is invested for this cause. And I'll be honest, I'm putting it out there definitely because of the movement, because of what happened here. I feel that that's definitely not fair. It's not ethical. Definitely there's been a code of conduct somewhere that has been definitely violated here. So that being said, guys, I mean, I know some of people we've heard here in the stories that they've put all their savings here. They've gone all in. They're not going to sell anything until the end, until it collapses. And they all have amazing stories that they're telling on an individual basis. But that's what it is, guys. It's on an individual basis. Personally, guys, I would never recommend or give an advice to anybody close to me to say put all your money in here or never sell this. At the end of the day, guys, this is the stock market, okay? It goes up and it goes down. And GameStop is unfortunately a dinosaur that might actually not exist anymore, right? At least not in the shape and form that we know it as today. But one thing's for sure, AMC, for example, and even GameStop and any of these companies, by the way, they were going towards bankruptcy. These guys were out of the game. But by doing this, guys, you need to actually congratulate yourselves. We saved these companies. They might actually have a last hope here to reinvent themselves, recycle themselves, integrate, I don't know, like something from internet, competition now from digital point of view instead of being in physical, because that's gonna collapse for sure. That being said, that's the nice side of the story. But the lesser side, not as good, is that people are gonna bleed and hold the bag here at the end. Okay, so for those guys that bought at $300 and not $500, it hit almost 500. And if it doesn't go back to those points, and you're hoping to go to 1,000, and it may happen, who knows? Next week, there's still maybe a lot of shorts there to go and grasp. But if it doesn't happen, and you're the last guy holding the bag, you're gonna be in for a lot of money, and that's gonna hurt. At the end of the day, the only thing we can guarantee here is that there are gonna be winners and there's gonna be losers. My suggestion here is for you to sit down and have a clear thought here. Make sure that you're doing a financial global analysis of your situation, and can you accept the fact that if tomorrow, Monday, let's say on Monday, whatever, this collapses to $5 or whatever that price is, are you okay with losing all that money? That's the number one question you should be asking yourself immediately over the weekend. And take this as an opportunity. It's a long weekend. So take that time to reflect, steam off. Don't watch videos, politics, news, whatever, to not influence yourself, and ask yourself those questions. Ask people around you who are close to you, friends, loved ones, family members, and you know best your financial situation, and nobody should be judging you by the fact that you're selling or not. So that being said, that's my prudent suggestion here. And also, at the end of the day, if you've done a lot of profits, it's okay to take either full profits or partial profits, okay? Cover at least your investment so you don't go broke or you don't go down in the hole if this goes, collapses to $5 tomorrow, okay? And I'm not saying here in any way of shape or form you should definitely sell everything or buy, this is only a suggestion for you to do a reflection to protect yourself and protect your investment. If you're all for this cause and you want to put all your money in it, that's also, on you, that's your decision. Nobody can tell you what to do. I just want to open up here a perspective, objective here conversation where you should definitely be having these discussions with your loved ones, because it's a lot of money, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a lot of money. Okay, so that being said, guys, let's look here quickly at the charts. And this is just crazy. Look at this. 52 weeks here range. $2.57, and it's gone up to $483. Amazing, guys. Congratulations. You guys definitely squeezed the hell out of those hedge funds. Great achievement. All right, guys. So look at those charts. Amazing. They closed today at $325, and post-market they're up slightly down. But I mean, it's an achievement. Look at this. $96 just a few days ago, and went all the way up here touching the $500. And since they got there, they sold off immediately. And that's when it halted, right? And that's when they stopped the whole thing, that the whole manipulation occurred. That's exactly right here, guys, this zone. And they actually were managed to actually go down to $116 right here once and twice here, okay? And that's where you probably saw a lot of hedge funds who sold and bought here just to make sure that, they liquidated as much as they could at loss. Of course, they made tons of losses here, but it's better here than right here, right? Obviously. Now, when they reopened here a little bit and with a lot of rules here, Robinhood said that, we could start trading and so on and so forth. You see this actually skyrocket again, right? That was definitely today. And as you can see, we almost went again for the $500, guys. I mean, that's amazing. And then it sold off, and we're currently consolidating here at $300. 300 level is definitely a big support here, as you can see. Once here, twice, three times. I mean, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so many times. Okay, so this $300, actually quite exactly almost $300, is a great support level. So guys, so it's been resisting here. It went below it, but it came right back at it. Okay, so we can maybe stipulate here if post market we stay above $300 and there's momentum over the weekend, discussions over the chats and whatnot. Monday we could potentially see here, even pre-market, a momentum here, consolidation, and once it opens the market, it's going to do exactly like it did here and right here. It's going to go it might bust the $500, guys. Like I said, especially if there's momentum and a lot of alignment and discussions, this may go well beyond $500. Keep in mind that there's a lot of people who are diehard at this point, right? And they're not going to sell. So it's going to be an interesting weekend, but needless to say, interesting next week. There's going to be a lot of volatility in this stock and a lot of other stocks. There's FOMO as well. And keep in mind, for all those that you investors there and myself as well, there may be great opportunities, guys, to buy other stocks as well that are going to be on high discounts because everybody's throwing in money in these different stocks. Everybody wants to know what's the next GameStop, right? Some are saying silver. There's the other one, Dodge Bitcoin. So, you need to be careful, okay? I personally, I'm never going to put my 100% of my money in portfolio into these things, okay? I might put some 5% of my portfolio, 10% maximum to play and gamble because that's what it is, guys. It's pure speculation, right? You're not the one who's making those movements here, right? So you're dependable on those movements. So you need to be very aware of that, cautious. But the other money, I personally will be tackling buying those dips from other definitely juicy, good companies that I've been waiting for. And just by doing that today and yesterday, by the way, guys, I've done tons of money already because I bought the huge dips. So keep in mind, while we're distracted by GameStop and whatnot for good reasons, other people are buying the dips we're pulling the money out of, right? So be cautious of that, okay? Just remind yourself of why you got into the stock market in the first place, okay? You're an investor. Your mission is to make profits. And I get it. GameStop is a different story. So definitely, I'm partisan of that. Like I said, I have a very small amount invested into the cause. I don't want to be holding the bag, and I don't want you to be holding the bag, okay? So guys, personally, if I were to get in here, definitely I wouldn't get into here on a green trend. I would wait for this to go to the support level. So obviously the first support level that I see that is strong, like I said, is $300. The second one is at $250, followed by $193, okay? This has been touched quite a few times and it bounced immediately off of that, okay? And then obviously the last one here at $100, okay? That was actually when they manipulated the whole thing. So I don't see that happening, and even if it did, you can't even buy. So the most realistic one would be at $190, okay? And if you do that, definitely that's a good entry because you have an upside here all the way at least to $480. In no shape or form I'm saying to buy this, actually quite the opposite. At this point, personally, I am invested in small positions, like I said, especially AMC, Nokia, as maybe they're the downside if it happens. I'm okay with losing some of that money. That's my personal opinion, though. And like I said, I'm not putting money that I'm not willing to lose, and that should definitely be your mindset if you're willing to take this kind of risk. So again, I'm highly suggesting to not put your money in here, and if you do, please be a very small amount so you don't have to go through the hardship if you're holding the bag at the end. Okay, so guys, those are my thoughts here. I'd like to know your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Are you okay with what happened here between Wall Street bets and the hedge funds? Are you okay with the fact that Robinhood stopped you from trading your stocks, that they halted? Do you believe that's manipulation or not? Do you believe the interview of the CEO? I'd be curious to know. And are you buying into these stocks? What stocks are you in, and which one are you for the long haul? Okay, so leave your comments below. I'd love to know that, and let me know, if there's other type of videos you'd like me to do, anything, any other stocks or thoughts that you'd like me to elaborate more on, and I'd be glad to do so. Like I said, I'm following this very closely, and I'll try to keep you guys updated as well, okay? So that being said, please smash that like button to share as many people that they can watch this video, but also subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. So that being said, have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.